1 hour to go in the trading session. Welcome back to the close. Here we go. Look at how things stand right now. Nicely positive here. 0.6 for the S&P, leading the way. About the same for the NASDAQ in positive territory, as is the Dow. 0.3 on the day. Brazil having a tough day. 3% to the downside. Similar move to the upside for Bitcoin, guys. Back above 63,000. What a day for cryptocurrencies. Let's get into the final hour.
Yeah, it's Bitcoin mania today, guys. 63.5, 5. Looks like that's going to be the high. We're going to see where it goes from here. What a crazy day it was also on AMC. We had CEO Adam Aron there on CNBC, and bang, we hit that nicely out some rate there. You know, take advantage of that bounce, the CNBC bounce, Neil, right there on AMC was able to take that out long into here, into 42, like we talked about, out. Now we're holding a small piece back down to 42. I think it's about time we take a little more shares here.
Lots going on here. I mean, there was that news that came out of California for the trip for I guess almost like crypto, because that's what's on our mind here today, for the cannabis names.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I was shorting a Sundial into 70 even. There was a $2 million offer on Sundial, which got taken out, refreshed, and then got taken out again, refreshed twice more. I end up punching out, reversed into the long. The long goes absolutely nowhere, so I'm going to give up going long on Sundial here. You know, I was basically short just like 69.85. And then reversed into a long at like 70 and 03 or something like that, right? So about a half a cent there, but I was short the whole way long with an average price of like 69.2 when the 70 broke. Long way of saying it, Sundial's been a complete waste of time. But what isn't a waste of anybody's time is going to be Blackberry. I mean, if you're long Blackberry in this move, and we were saying this earlier before we came back on, like everything that's moving today is just grinding higher. Like there's nothing's halting to the upside. Like AVIS was a good trade for me. Those longs that were shorts in AVIS, I played it to the short side after a quick long trade or idea for the long, and nothing's halting. It's very, very, I guess, I don't know what the word is to use here, but anyways, Blackberry, we got to watch out for this 12 level if it gets there. That's the only one on the daily chart, and at some point, it feels almost inevitable that it's going to continue this grind right into that level. I think that was a unity check. Mine is okay, guys. That was not a throw to Brendan.
That was a unity check. Check it 1, 2. Okay, guys, yeah, let's rock and roll. We're just testing our audio, and so shout out to everybody who's here with us right now. We're just testing on our end, so no worries and all good. Okay, so we still have this Walmart long. We talked about this all day. It's on the sticky note. Unfortunately, I have that little tick there. I'm going to edit that to get that out, but right here, Walmart, guys, I got to get that edit out. Buy. We actually bought that dip right there into 143.50, and if you're signing up for our sticky note and our watch list, well, sticky note is free, but make sure you sign up for the watch list. We talked about Walmart right there, man. Try to find the longs, try to grab Walmart. So we do that, and paying dividends right here. WMT off to the races to the upside. Another 75-cent win on board right now for Walmart. Let me just clean this up, and then the chart will look a little bit better.
Yeah, and I'm going to come over. I still have this Kodak from earlier on in the session. It spiked up, and there's been a lot of, I guess, former squeeze names that have made runs today. I mean, obviously the current ones are making moves with AMC making moves today. But there was this 780. We left you guys in the show with a 780 to 785, and I said wait for that level to get taken out. It'll trap some longs, and then you'll work into the rest of the position off of that 780. 1-2 times we do that. I took some out in front of VWAP, but I took the absolute bulk from 760 out to 740. I'm still holding on to a little bit here, so I covered some 735. This is all the way back at this point, this 733 level, and it just bounced off it. No surprise there, but I want to hold this Kodak short, hopefully right into the close if I can, to see if it comes through that 730, maybe back all the way to yesterday's close price. And then Blackberry at 12 even, I think we can wait around for. For those that are keeping track, yep, that's right. I didn't take the Tesla trade the way that I said I should, which was to allow 865 to break and then see if it does follow through. If it does not, come back in after it's trapped some short off that level. I don't trade it that way. Instead, I stand in front of the sword and stop it out, which clearly was obviously a mistake you're going to see here. And it goes all the way back up to 876. So compounding the fact that I said for like 4 days in a row, Tesla's going to 880, and at 880 is the price that I would want to short it. It gave you the pre-market, you had to take the trade in the pre-market, I think. You could have had a breakdown at 876 at that particular time. A few other names I was a little more interested in missed out on Tesla because it never made the pop to 880. I still think that's going to be your resistance. This entire time Tesla has been on the run, this was sort of that level that if it got to it, you had to have a feeling that there was going to be some resistance in front of that 90 level. A lot of times I say 887. It was 787 on the way up, 887, who cares? 880, 900, that's what we care about on Tesla. If it pulls back another day, maybe look for 840s or 850s to come into play before earnings comes out. I mean, you could have one more test at it, at that 880 level before earnings come, but I'm kind of thinking that you might have seen the top at least before earnings. Always a chance that it could start selling off on the news when it does come. But Tilray is another one that, I'm just looking at stocks that's actually moving here. I was going to trade ATR, and then that started falling off here. But when that bill got passed in California, this really hasn't slowed down either. And so when I look at Sundial here, and part of the reason why I like that break at 70 with that monster offer was Tilray was on the highs, and Tilray's up 15%. Sundial, which I usually only short, was about half that, and it was breaking a big level at 70 even. Doesn't follow through. You're starting to see volume die down on Tilray a little bit, but 15% is a big move here for Tilray. Obviously, it's not a heck of a lot when you look at the daily chart. And much like Blackberry, there is a $12 level and the 50 period sitting at 1230. Probably provide some resistance. Thought it could grind there. It just hasn't really happened yet. So Tilray's on the radar, but Blackberry just feels a little bit more likely to get to that $12 level.
Yeah, I mean, Tilray, again, it's good. We talked about you need the federal government and everything behind it. Now you get that news from California. It's actually on my Twitter feed, so you can find out that news as well. If you wanted to head over there, I mean, Brendan can review that with us when he is ready as well. So that's good news. We do have Mr. Wonderful. What's his name again? Kevin O'Leary coming. He won't like that. Coming back on a week tomorrow, I believe. And it's funny because someone in the chat, Neil, just asked us about WonderFi. So I don't know how they knew about that, but we'll talk about WonderFi. So why not? All right. So here it is. WonderFi came to market with us here on the show at 150 there in Toronto, and of course WonderFi now 222. So DeFi talking everything. He's going to come back. We'll ask him a little bit about WonderFi, but then we're going to have some fun with him as well and be more casual, talk trading, whatnot with Kevin O'Leary. So coming back, I don't know. Actually, maybe Brendan
get your questions ready on the market for him.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I have numerous questions already ready to go, including one for Jacqueline Cobb, who wanted to know about female watches. See, I have not forgotten, Jacqueline. If you are there, I will be asking him about that for you as well. But I'm not sure, Brendan. Is it coming? Is he coming on this show or the early show? We'll find out. We may not have that answer yet, but if anybody knows, it will be Brendan. So, anyways, that's WonderFi there coming through. Walmart still 70 cents in the money. That was a good trade for us today. We just cleaned it up and talked about that. We're looking at this level, which I wanted to show you, 144.75. We break below here, we're gone. 144.40, we're gone. But that would still be a 60-cent win, so we're really happy with that one. What's up, Brendo?
You were busy, Sean, but I mentioned there 10:30, guys, for KO.
10:30? Okay.
10:30 for KO. Okay, great. So that's now. See, he's such a good friend that we're calling him KO, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
So that's what it is. So KO coming through, and what's up to you, Kevin? Coming through a week tomorrow, 10:30.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Should be a heck of a lot of fun. It always is when we have him on. But again, it's all about get your questions because you have a fantastic resource, and we're going to get ours in there as well. But I'm going to come to Alibaba for a quick second. They of course had that news story this morning that they're going to be further developing or further investing into sort of the cloud competition space. They want to compete with the big boys, and you're getting a nice run. It was a consolidation break above the 50 period, but the last time it got a bounce, off of. In this little run, it did stall out at 180, and that was a previous bottom into some resistance. So I'm looking at this 180 level and saying, okay, Alibaba, 6%. Market is slowing down a little bit. NASDAQ's off the highs, ES off the highs, trying to retest them. And then Alibaba's getting close to that 180 mark. And it's just consolidated and broke 177. So I think this could be the charge. I look, again, you don't trade your book, right? Like, I went long in Alibaba, and to me, this is like a hold. Not forever, because nothing is forever.
That now?
Almost forever. But 177 here.
Booyah.
We're so close to that 180 level that I do feel like that could come in. Blackberry, on the other hand, which I 2 seconds ago was saying, I felt it was a little more likely to get to that 12 than Tilray. well, now it's starting to round off here. Got to 62 and held this randomly for like 10 minutes or so. I don't know why. 62 is kind of an odd number, but it's held that level anyways. It's starting to pull back. So it looks like 1162, maybe it's an iceberg order. I didn't see size or anything on the level 2 that makes any sense at that price. But either way, Blackberry finding a bit of a top here, shy of that key 12 even area.
I think there's a lot of stock today that started to run, man. Including Macy's. We talked about the move that they had yesterday there, and we are still short Macy's, guys. It's still short off this 27.50. I just thought that there was a possibility that it could crack a lot lower. So we still have $1 in the money on this Macy's trade. But what's up, Brendan?
So you guys are talking about that California cannabis tie-up. So the governor signed a bill for hemp and CBD edibles and smokable hemp as well. Historic for any state in the U.S. Tilray, meanwhile, was also mentioned positively about the same time, guys, on CNBC. So it got that nice CNBC bounce with a few other stocks around lunchtime today. What a move. From 10.50 for Tilray, guys.
Yeah, big move. And what was a big mover? Wow, so I got out of that AVIR. If you're watching that memes and movers, I mean, it was setting up for a bit of a trap for the short trades. And that was something we were talking about here. I had the 16 short. I took some off 15.50. I then got trailed out at 15 even when it sort of felt here that it just couldn't fall any further. It's now back to VWAP at 14. Worth noting, when I had this short off of 14.50 earlier, there was one little print down here to 13.65. That was the bottom since the early morning, obviously, when it broke out. So watch out for that level. Like, if it comes right back down, I'm kind of thinking 14 break. It might actually hold up there at 13.65. Other than that, looks like AVIR might be done. The long might be done for the day until it gets to that 13.65. Now starting to fall off the table a little bit. I'm still going to be eyeballs on Blackberry. I mean, 11.62 is a random number, but if it fails at that price again, I might try the short there and then try it again at 12 even. Was just asked about plug power in the chat, and I know, like, it's been a pretty good run. A lot of the alternative energy names have had a bit of a pullback over concerns that I guess the clean energy provisions will be stripped out of the infrastructure bill, and you have had a little bit of pullback in FCell and some of these other names like Plug. But Plug's put in a recovery since that little flush in the morning, and you can see how fantastic a break Plug has been on, and we've probably covered that enough. But actually breaking out through this lower high here at 33.35, worth noting 34 here on the way up, had a bit of a gap into 35 from 34. So I think there's probably a little bit of resistance on Plug Power. If we do get a failure and then roll back downside, like, you'd watch for a 33 break, because that kind of would give you a setup to fall back in here. It just hasn't really taken that 34 out. So, Plug, it's a great recovery that it's put in right now. I'm not completely convinced just yet. I'd like to see it hold up by the end of the day and then see if we can continue the run. It did run away from the 200 period moving average as resistance, so that could be a bit of the case as well here with Plug Power. Brendan.
This KAVL, guys, we talked about it this morning. It was on the watch list, in fact, today, if you pick that up. Day highs right now on volume as well. Back to 270 here, up 70% on the day. Teeny tiny little float on this, only about 11 million shares. So tread lightly, but still holding gains here for KVL.
Yo, what's up, Sam there, Goldman? Yeah, what St. Louis were you at? The one on Bremner there by Rogers Center, aka Skydome. But yeah, great day to be outside. Wish I could join you maybe one day, Goldman. If you're around in Toronto, sure, we can catch up and grab a beer. Why not? As long as you're buying. No, just playing around. Neil's buying. So, okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, it does feel like somewhere. Oh, Richmond Hill. Okay, forget about it, Goldman.
It feels like
you're a little too far there, but you come down to Toronto and we can do something. So, what's up to Mr. Goldman there? Thank you for that. Okay, yeah, it does feel like, what is the temperature here anyways in Toronto?
I thought it was only 20 today.
Ooh, 21 degrees Celsius. Okay, 72 Fahrenheit, guys. 72 Fahrenheit for those of you keeping track
21,
at
man.
home. That's pretty good for October 19th here. Just saying, in Canada, obviously, in my opinion, the best country in the world. But
when I'm up in the morning, this morning, I had a toque on, but part of that's because I have no hair in my head. But
yeah, no. We were debating. Man, it was cold overnight. Cold as whatever, man. I was like, I got to throw on the duvet. I don't even have the duvet on right now. Okay, so yeah, all is good. But let's just move on from this. As I hope it's good weather wherever you guys are as well. That's pretty nice. Oh, Canada, yeah, exactly. We'll do that. Every time someone puts that in the chat, I basically have no choice but to do this. So there we go. All right, just to give you a brief update there, Walmart. Someone said Clover was popping. I did see Clover starting to go a little bit there. But again, you know, good volume. It doesn't appear to be on anything. I have some news service waiting to see if that hits, but I don't see anything for Clover right now. 700,000 share print through $8, I guess, and then stop. So they're trying to get some of these to go. It's just not happening right now for Clover there. Ooh, Enbridge at 52-week highs. We do have some nice earnings coming through today, so that should be fun.
Those energy names are strong, man. Chevron was up to 111 when I last checked, so that's been, I mean, it's been a crazy run here, and if oil prices continue any higher, it's going to spill to the overall economy and be a bit of a hit. But that KAVL, just because you know, Brendan brought this one up looking strong, there is somewhat of a level here in the mid 80s. If it gets to those mid 80s that I'm watching, 275 is the current high. That's just sort of an even-ish number. I know it's odd technically, but you know, quarters and 50s and 75s. So this could be a bit of a top. If it does make a breakout here, I still like those mid 80s, but I'll take a shot at KVL with the volume still trying to break this high of the day. Look, it's been a runner, but you look at that daily chart and it tells a bit of a story for you, Brendo.
There's so many. I was just trying to figure out, I think it was yesterday, we were talking about this BOEX. 7.5% to the downside today. You can see the volume just came in again. It looks like, guys, they have officially approved the business combination with WeWork. So this SPAC is shortly to become the publicly traded edition of WeWork, guys.
All right. Okay, so WeWork. Oh wow, yeah. All right, they shelved that IPO a while ago. We'll see what's going to happen with that. Okay, enough is enough. I'm just going to take a small position here. We can get out if it comes back into 11:30, but I can't believe this. We've just been, you know, just distracted here all afternoon. I mean, it's not. You know, sometimes we're sitting here trading, sometimes we're not, but that was a big move up there for Tilray. I mean, if you could have predicted something, you obviously would have smashed that 1025 there, which was a pre-market high, and now you'd be laughing. So we'll take a small piece here. I think that the move may be over. I mean, that's a big, I mean, look, you've just covered up like a couple weeks there worth. You're trying to make that march up to 1225. We do that, we're going to get out for sure around 12. So if that can happen, that'd be great. Where's my 20 period chart on here? That's 1 minute. That's 1 day. This 20. So yeah, nothing to see there. There was a little spot here at 1070 maybe. If you missed that 1020, you could have punched there, which, you know, boom, right to the upside, but it just keeps on going. So we're long here. We're not long large, but we're long at 67s, as you can see, as Tilray just keeps on going. So Batman is definitely in the building. We talked about it, that it needed some Fed support. Looks like they get it from the biggest. I mean, I don't know. Is California going to be a monster? I think so. We talked about growing and everything like that. California leading the way there. So we'll wait to see what Tilray does here, going to the upside. But again, you know, I don't have too many expectations. Maybe even a break back down below 1150 gives you some consolidation and a reason to get long. But I'm worried if we break here 11.25. So that's going to be a spot for us to understand where we're wrong. That's going to be 11.25. But for right now, we're cruising with Tilray.
Yeah, and I just got into that KVL. Like, it's, you know, I'm not going to wait around for those 80s. If it gets there, we can take 2 cracks at it. I mean, essentially, it's not a penny stock, but, you know, $1, $2, $3 stocks, essentially a penny stock. But Blackberry, on the other hand, I can get patient with that one because it just took out that top. And 1162, I can't wrap my head around a breakout long at that price. So I'll sit it out for now, especially going into this 12 level, which I think everyone's looking at on the daily chart. So it just broke that 62. Immediately a bit of an offer stepped up at 74 in front of that 75. So that 3/4 mark. You know, if it fails there, like maybe it never even gets to 12. So I got to consider that one as well. But like if you guys like, show me something else. Sean's over on Tilray, and here's Blackberry. I'm not sure what else is moving just like these two. Maybe there's a couple of other, names out there, right? I guess. You need some catalyst.
Well, you had your SNDL.
Yeah, Sundial, you know what's ridiculous? Like, you see Tilray breaking the high of the day, and people always ask, like, why do you always want to short Sundial? Well, because it's like, look at the price action. It's still at 70. Like, I'm not, like, the only reason I'm not trading it is because it's not moving from this level. Like, if I was trading off of this level, you could have been like in and out 6 or 7 times, wasting your time here. Although I suppose I could get back in short like 69.9 or something like ridiculous like that, and then just give it to 71 in hopes that it'll fall. But then I'd be staring, looking for a retracement in some other names that you could just take. Instead, we're going to go over to that Blackberry because I really do think it's back down below that, well, at that 1162, so a bit of a failed breakout. That's a random price, but if it gets below it, maybe like 1160, I'll just jam into the short, and I still have that 12 level above me.
If anybody wishes they were a baller, they get it today because Merry Christmas. With all of the popping happening right now in a lot of these names, you're seeing, I'm not going to say garbage companies, but you're going to see companies like Blackberry starting to go up. You're going to see companies like Wish starting to go up right now. And it's a lot of the same names that have been shorted are now starting to pop, right? So you got to watch out. It makes sense here on SNDL and on Tilray. A lot of these names making sense. Not sure it makes any sense on Wish. So for me, guys, and I'll just go shout out to
5.
5. It's a 550. So Wish up 10% in about 20 minutes. So a big time move up here. If Brendan sees anything, he'll obviously come to it with us. But right now, Wish starting to pop up. We talked about it consolidating near the bottom. Look, this is why, honestly. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to go long on Wish. I would actually short it from here. You can use that top right now, 555. I think this is going to be a decent short for Wish. But I think the same thing can happen with Clover. There goes Tilray right now. It's up in the money. It just did touch 80s. So that was, where are we long here? We're long 67. So again, 13 cents, not huge, but we're going to see if Tilray keeps going to the high side right now. Macy's as well coming down. Macy's 76 cents in the money and getting near new lows right now on Macy's. So yeah, man, today's a great day. You asked how the day was, Sam? It's a great day.
And even Root is actually up on the day, believe it or not. If that stock's moving, then the squeeze names or the short names are starting to go. Why is that still on Root? So even this is participating, which a lot of times it gets left out, like, use whatever pun you like. I'll stay away from it. We just got back below that 62 level, on Blackberry. I end up shorting at 60 here when it breaks down. Look, I'll just start, we'll get some out at 50, probably like 40, and then see if we can't run the rest out. With 40 minutes to go, there's always a chance that this rolls over, pretty hard here, but as strong as it's been, I always say in the morning show, like, be careful shorting things that are, I guess, non-parabolic. Like, it's very linear to the upside and stable. But it did level off at the top, right? Like, you got a long consolidation at the top, and then you had a bit of a failed break through the high of the day. So there was at least that setup there, which, look, ultimately you've got to have. That KAVL, we took a shot at this in front of 75, which is the current high of the day. But remember, on the daily, 285, 287, something in that range, is also a big top. So I'll take 2 cracks at KAVL here. It's not a tremendous amount of volume. I know you guys can't really, I can do that for you. It's not a tremendous amount of volume spiking going into this high. So even if it breaks it, I'll probably double down and take it. Well, not double down. I'll get out at 75 and then take another shot off that 85 level. Maybe even let it get to closer to 3 even, because it's not much of a volume spike that I'd expect to see for a stock up 68%, trying to take out a high of the day.
So you guys saw me talk about getting Wish short at 53. Unfortunately, I had to chase it all the way down, so we're now short Wish 48. I mean, I don't know where this is going to go from here, but we are short Wish now 48, and just waiting for this to come back to the downside. Targets in the 30s, so we'll see where we go here on Wish, but we did take that short against some of these highs. So we'll wait to see where we go from here, but right now to the downside, hopefully it continues for me. But if you guys are long Wish, I did give the warning before I went short that, I thought it was a little bit overdone to the upside there. We talked about reasons. You need to have reasons sometimes. And I mean, obviously pushed on a bulletin board or something is still a reason. I mean,
these are all going.
That's what I mean. I just think that at some point, they can't all go, can they? So you got to wait for some point for a little bit of a pullback here. We still have some, decent spots on. We have Tilray long, we got Wish short, we got SoFi. Oh, we didn't talk about SoFi today yet. Well, we did talk about it. Where's my 1 minute chart? Oh my God. Okay, I haven't done anything all morning, but there's the big bid there on SoFi. Comes all the way back in. We have 10% of this position, as you can see, out all the way. So we're holding this, hoping for the best on this name, but right now, SoFi comes right back into 20. This could be another name that runs on a move like this. So let's wait to see if SoFi is a name that can run going. Yeah, ETH, still continuing to go to the upside. We do have Ethereum looking out right now. This is a 1 minute chart. So, okay, where is it? Right there. So Ethereum makes a bottom of 37.40. Yeah, and it's not really running. It's just near the tops right now, but 38.63 on crypto names. What's going on with my chart here? I don't know if that's accurate. Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, that's right, 3:20. So we're looking at that high of basically 3,900 coming morning for Ethereum. Could be here sooner rather than later. What's up, Brendo?
This Playboy having quite the day as well. Just made day high, big move there, 27.5 right through 28, like it wasn't even there. So this thing's had a few nice little volume bursts today, and here comes more. Playboy trying to run, guys.
There's just so many. Someone just
Costs.
said cost. I mean, it's only up like 2%.
Like, what is that's really running?
But look at the volume. But look at the volume spikes on almost every single one of these types names. So you call out a name which has been previously heavily shorted. Like, did you just say DATS?
It is. I mean, DATS is running a little bit.
DATS as well. Like, give me a break. Like, here's the thing. Like, you got to pick and choose. At least I think we got to pick and choose. DATS to this $10, and that has a pretty good level at 10 even. I'm already in Blackberry off the top. KVL, which I don't necessarily put into that category because it's brand new today, but you still short off the high of the day. I'm already in Kodak. That's already fallen back down, so I can sit in that one with him sort of comfortably here. But DATS at 10 looks pretty good. You just got to be careful because if all of these go at the same time and they all take highs at the same time, and everyone's looking at the same type of short as a day trader in front of them, well, they could also all stop out at the same time too, right? So you do have to be a little bit careful. That's why, like, I can't see any way that I'm shorting 5 or 6 of these at 325. Like, if they were all going and this was like, 10 o'clock, early in the morning, like maybe we'd be putting on like 4 or 5 positions. I just never really try to do that at the end of the day. You can be sitting in a bunch, which is usually pretty, it can happen, right? Like, you're sitting in a bunch, you're deep in the money. I know, Sean, you'll have a bunch. Sometimes I will have a few. But putting on 4 or 5 new positions in the last 30 minutes when you got to get flat at the end of the day, when they all have the exact same profile, heavily shorted names pumping up at about the same time in the afternoon, yeah, I don't know that you want to be quadrupling down on levels like this, but at least DATS at 10, I might fit that one in if it makes another spike here, but I'll just hang on to Blackberry and Cavill for now. Anyone watching Tesla, it did make a bit of a move to the downside there, but for those Tesla bulls, which I know there's a lot of us out here, bounces off of what price? 865 and pulls right back in. Now, I don't think it's going back to 880, but good to see that level is still some support. Of course, as I've said probably a half a dozen times today, now, I liked it for support, but I didn't make any money trading off of that level. I'm glad Miss V got it, though.
Miss V, WTRH. What's up? I do have a new best friend here from Twitter. Thodmon. What's up, Thodmon? I told you that I'd give you a shout out here on the main show. So, yeah, good. Thank you for that. Is Wader Holdings worth a look? Not really. I don't think so. But, just having a quick sum up here on the 1 minute. I mean, it should be going. This is probably one of those names that's really heavily shorted. When a stock looks like this, man, it's very hard for me to say, yep, got to buy it. I mean, if you're trying to bottom pick and stocks keep falling, I don't know. I mean, where does it stop? At $1? I think if you go long now, you can always get back out. The 50-period moving average is at $1 there. And then, that held pretty good down here. It broke the dollar, then held down to 80 cents. That's normally a good sign. So I think the trade really here on Wader Holdings was this trade, the break of one. So I think that, you get a nice consolidation, you build that base, and then you break through one, and then you get 50%. You should take that. So that's what that is right now on Wader Holdings. I'm going to go back to Macy's again. And, because they're talking about Twitter here, I thank you for watching the show, first of all, everybody. I mean, that's what all that matters. I just hope that people can follow on Twitter and at TraderTV, Sean, you can get the sticky note right here. But Goldman, Macy's, that's Goldman for Walmart. We can talk about that. That's a huge trade for me today. Macy's seems overdone, on the Saks news. Too far, too fast. Macy's short, 27.50. So, we give that one right away on our sticky note, of course, for free. That's what it's always going to be. And then there it is. There's $1 right there for the money. So, if you take the trade, there it is for you right there as well on the sticky note. We also do have, obviously, talk of Walmart. This is now $1 in the money. We talked about buying this all day long, and we make a few buys there. We defend that bottom, and now you're upside right now, 144.80 with another $1 in the money on that one. So far, so good. The only thing is right now, Tilray, yeah, it's 14 cents in the money and still making new moves out of the high side here. So there's Tilray. There's right where we bought it. I told you, based on this, basically, I still have that up. Based on this rate here, I'm thinking like 12 is not bad. If we can get 30 cents on this late day, like Neil said, I think we should probably do that. So we only have 13 cents right now, but we'll see if we can get into the 90s, man. Look for me to step out of Tilray.
I think the concern for traders that are watching is if these start to roll over, I'm talking every single one of these like squeeze type names, whatever name you want to give them, at the same time, like the run to the exit could be pretty quick at the end of the day. I think there is more, like if they all broke the top at the same time, but people might have stops at that top, you can control your losses. But if there's a jam to the exit here and the bid falls out, it could get ugly. Now, I just took some of that cavil out here, and I'm talking mostly about like the Wishes, the Blackberries. I mean, Kodak's already moved, like whatever. You can talk about all those names and just be very, very cautious. I think they've probably all run and you can take some profit and go ahead. No one ever went broke doing that. It was a question about Upstart, which I didn't trade today, candidly. I said yesterday, it's like, you know, maybe that 400 level, it kind of gave you this 395. We other fish that we like to fry today. The AVIR was definitely one of them. Coinbase. Because of the crypto news today, it was hard to get away from Coinbase, which was my best stock on the session. So I wanted to focus on just a few names here today. And that EDSA was another good one. So it's just, it got away from for a day here, that Upstart. And you're going to see it just come all the way back towards that capitulation bottom. So 350 was a big level on the way up. I think it's a decent chance that Upstart is going to retest it here. Market is on highs, but Upstart, it's just a simple case of it was going to have one of these retracement days. So there's a couple of times we were successful with it to the short side, but fighting it has been a bit of a losing game. This is what I mean by that 350 level. It was a monster break off of 350. I'd anticipate that there should be some kind of a bid down there if it gets there tomorrow. It's not dropping $15 in the next half an hour. If it does, well, you know, that's pie in my face, but I'm pretty confident about that one. So I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does get there tomorrow, I think 350 is an interesting place where you can buy. Blackberry starting to slow down and roll over. And like one or two of these start breaking support levels, like 1150, 1140 on Blackberry, whatever the corresponding levels might be on a Wish or an AMC. It just doesn't really matter. You could see these start to fall pretty heavily. So I do want to hang on to some of this position right up into the close on the off chance that happens. And same thing with KVL, which I'm starting to get out of. Now, Kodak is a different story for me because it's already sort of flushed and it's doing absolutely nothing. So it's just this can't turn into a losing trade. It might fall a little bit further if the other ones start to go, but I kind of feel at this point it's marching to the beat of its own drum, and the volume, it had volume going into that spike, that 780 on the daily chart, and then since then it's been doing absolutely nothing. So it's just dying a slow death here.
Oh man, yeah, we just come crashing in there because we're at a carnival today, guys. Bang, there it is. Yeah, good trade here for me. Obviously on Wish, as we did exactly what we said we would do. And, you know, it's just coming through again on Wish. Like, we short. I told you, we tried to short 40, 52, 53. So when it comes back in, man, that's what it is. And it's one of these ones, bang, right there at the end of the day. I mean, welcome. There it is, man. Talking about shorting something, boom, boom, boom. We do it all here, long, short, everything. There it is. And we're trading the actual equity. These aren't options or anything like that. We're trading the equity here. So we're going to wait to see what happens now. But there's Wish. Nice move to the downside. We just cleaned out there 13 or 14 cents. So boom, goes the dynamite on that one. So good trade there for me on Wish, but who knows? Who knows where it's going to go from here? Hopefully even lower. I told you where you know what?
They're all look. They're all starting to look at what we just said, right? Like they're all starting to go a little bit. Blackberry cracked that 1150 area. This KVL, which was at the top, like that just cracked. That just cracked this 260. It's now down to 250, heading down in towards VWAP. I'm willing to bet I can pull up anything. Like I'll pull up cost just for argument's sake, and there you go. Cost just dropped off of $18. It doesn't matter. Every single one of these names, like once they start to go, you just have to take your profit, especially. There's no way they're all running at the same time. If most of the bid is probably algo driven, like some of you have pointed out. So what do you think happens when algos, which are 40 to 50% of the liquidity, start to pull their bids, and day traders are like, oh, it's a great place to go short because we have resistance up here. Well, I mean, you have two forces bringing it to the downside, and you got the end of the day for people wanting to take some profit. There's just a lot of reasons why that was going to happen across the board in all of them. And if you got the long, you can see that kind of thing coming, and you can take your profits out. So I know we're shorting these names, but there's something to be learned there. You can know when to take profit in front of everybody else because no one likes holding the bag, and everyone likes making money ultimately.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I mean, that's why I'm doing the show, guys, is to teach you about these moves, right? And so there it is right there. We had an easy out. It was easily out there if we needed it, and there it is right to the downside. So, I mean, big time trading happening right there. So, yeah, thank you guys on the chat. Yeah, Clover needs a little bit more volume. I'm still a believer. I've been buying up Clover as well. So Clover's something that's in my account, ready for a pop. When that happens, man, then it's going to be good times. Just like SoFi, man. We're long SoFi $16, right? We talked about that in our own account. We first were long 18.50, bought again at 16. So that's a good little level there for SoFi for us. All right, what else do we want to talk about here, guys? We're still rocking and rolling. The other one was Macy's, now more than $1 in the money. So Macy's looks like it wants to continue to go to the downside. So, I mean, you know, meme stocks be damned. We're trading absolutely everything. So there it goes, a nice little win for Macy's. And I may just look at, you know what, the one thing that we do have one negative stock today. Unfortunately, it is going to be Space. So that does take that out. We were thinking that Space was going to take that bottom out. It did take it out. It only went 20 pennies or so for us. And then we averaged in and got out right there on a 1950 break. So now Space all the way to the upside. But that was a name that we were looking at today and unfortunately miss it. But Space was a negative name for us today. So we do have one on the board there. Other than that, man, Wish. I know Neil just talked about it, but hey, we're going to the downside, and that's what happens. You stick your neck out a little bit sometimes on stocks that are going ham, and there it is right there, another short for us on Wish, man. This day is going absolutely fantastic, and not only that, but it's 21 degrees outside, so super happy.
Yeah, 21 degrees means that, you know, get like go back home. Well, I'm not going to hop on the scooter. My daughter will hop on the scooter. I don't have a scooter, but she'll practice that. It's not shorts weather, Randy. Shorts weather is above 25 degrees Celsius. 21 is not shorts weather. So anyway, I'm going to get that out of the way. That's that Caribbean blood, man. That's just not warm enough for shorts. But the healthcare has been strong is what I wanted to get to because you mentioned Clover. The first thing I thought about was healthcare today has been fantastic. And you know, a name that's been on my shopping list that I recently got into was Danaher. And I'll shout out, like my wife bought this one before I did and put me onto this, and I was like, wait a minute, this is just as good as United Health. It's not a dividend payer, but I would zoom out in the daily chart. But if I do, this is going to happen. You got this crazy wick. I was trying to clean these up, but it's a big, massive run, and it just had one of the strongest charts you will see in the last year. And then you had this pullback, 10% from 330. When it held 300 even, I'm like, okay, this is a good place in consolidation to jam into this one. Danaher, you might every once in a while would bring this name up here. And now you're up 1.5%, but it's just healthcare has been a decent place to hide and showing a lot of strength. So you see Clover up. There's a lot of names which are jamming today. Another one which came off that we missed, I was talking about DATS. It never really, look, it came to 990 while we're taking the trades, Blackberry, Cavill, the other ones in here, and that also pulled back off. So, you know, whether it was an old school squeeze name or something that just came up in the market the last couple of days, they all just fell off here and are trying to find bids as we speak. I'm not going to try to go long a single one of these going into the close. I'm just going to hold the shorts that we have in all of them. And there was one other one from this morning, PROG, which I did check to see if it had a move. Well, unfortunately, that rising tide did not lift Prog's ship. It did absolutely nothing. So I kind of feel like if you didn't get a bump, like if you're a small cap or a squeeze name or whatever, a recent meme name, whatever you want to call them, if you didn't get a bump today, I don't know if that's a good sign. Like they didn't even want to take this one up, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about this market is like you got to be very, very specific on whatever stocks you're trading, and that's why I think we do a great job. Join us every day. We have the watch list out as well. I don't have the coming up, but we could do that.
We can do this. Sorry.
What is it?
64,000.
Yeah, 64,000. Yeah, congratulations on that one. I mean, Bitcoin's been going absolutely nuts. You know, my 9-year-old asking me about Bitcoin now. Yeah, so I mean, this is what it is, and Bitcoin's not going anywhere. I've been calling. I mean, whatever. It doesn't really matter, the calls. I mean, anybody that's been long Bitcoin has been right so far. So, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Michael Burry because he helped this move go to the upside by saying Bitcoin was going down. So, shout out to you, Michael Burry. And then also...
You're leaving out Jamie Dimon.
I love Jamie Dimon.
I love him too. But he did say the same thing.
Well, he just said it was worthless. Michael Burry was really saying that it was going down, and I think Bitcoin is worthless.
Well,
right?
there is
basically no base case for Bitcoin.
There's a fundamental difference between saying something has no value and saying the price of it is going to go down. Like I think most like modern art is worthless, but hey, man, I'm not saying that the value of it is going to zero.
That's what people want to pay.
Yeah, right? big difference. It's worth what people will pay for it. What is always worth something is finding out what Brendan has to say next.
This HX, guys, another one going this afternoon. Once again, we've talked about this the past couple of days or week or so. This little Chinese fintech. You remember this thing has a 16 million share float. Looks like they got a new CEO today as well after the old one resigned. So another one catching a huge bid here into the close. Look at this move on the daily chart. $2 up to 9 in about a week and a half.
Yeah. Well, that was obvious. I mean, HX. I mean, come on. Of course, that was going to go up. Okay, so I was bored at night, but not last night. So that's pretty cheesy. But I'm not going to hold this wish. We're just going to capture the profits right now, and then just finish the day off. Getting close to finishing it off right now because I don't need this thing to rip up. No more wish. We've taken the money on that. Didn't think that we would even be trading this today, and there it is. A nice profit spot for me there today. Wish short. Get some out there. We didn't get any out until we got this fill, and then it just crashed down to the bottom. And that was a big take there at 40, and then our last take at 44 or whatever it was there. Yeah, 44, and we just cracked through to 43. So, 10 cents on the last part. It's not a huge win. I did have some bids in the 30s, so when this cracks down later on, like probably in 10 minutes, I will be upset because we missed out on a little bit of money. But hey, I'm pretty happy with that trade, that's for sure. Let's just start cleaning some of these up. So right now, Macy's, let's just let this thing fall to the bottom. That's fine, but we have to be a little bit smart here. And 26.60 for the dollar win on Macy's that we've held all day. So, hey, man, if you're only going to make one trade today, how about that one? Macy's right there off of a way overdone move. I mean, I couldn't even believe that move. And then there it is today. So we hit that early and not often, just one time. Should have reloaded. We talked about that, but we didn't want to get stuck in case we were wrong. So there it is right now. Macy's 26.60. We'll clean that up. That's a dollar win. Walmart's also a dollar in the money. It looks like it's having a problem with this high side, but we do have imbalances coming out in 10 minutes. So hopefully they'll be to the buy side. And we're going to get it at 144.50 if that breaks. So just giving you guys a little bit of an update here that we are going to cash out of some of these trades because, again, we have to be flat at 4 o'clock. So with only 20 minutes left, there's not much more I can do here.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I had to take Cavill out there. Like, it's VWAP, it's 240, it's exactly 10%, like whatever you want to give it from that 65 entry point. But I do want to get to a couple of questions. And there was one specifically about can we get a bounce on AVIR? And I understand exactly the sentiment here because when you have a dead cat bounce, and maybe there's another term for that than a dead cat bounce, but that's the only one I know. When you have a dead cat bounce like this has had, down 65% in the session, but $9 this was in the pre-market, it gets roaring just all the way up to this high at 16.5 before turning back in. Now look, I had a short in front at 14.50. I played the long side of it, thinking it was going to halt up. Nothing was halting today, which was weird. It pulled all the way back, but guess what level is still holding? That dip. And I know because I was in the short, it touched this 1365 and just randomly ran away from it. And it's holding this level here. So it's a ways away from, I think, some more established support where there was price acceptance. That's down around $11 to $12, but holding a higher low is still a pretty good sign. There's a monster gap that it could still fill. If you go back into the daily chart here, if you look at the recent lows, you can talk a little bit about 25. You go all the way back to, I think, if you go far enough, the low of this move is closer to $18. So that's, $4 from where we're sitting right now. You're talking over 25%. That's not insignificant, and you are holding some levels lower. Just understand, it could go back into 11, where there was the most price acceptance in the pre-market, and then 1365 could be air overnight. But yeah, this absolutely could get a bounce. Like I've seen these. You've seen some of these before, like you have one or two drug or single drug pipeline, they get bad news, they get taken down, and then they make a bit of a recovery. People sort of gamble on the opportunity that, hey, maybe they were able to work things out, or they get some better news, and you're getting it at such a depressed price. It gets a relief rally, and it wouldn't take a heck of a lot. Like, would I do this? That's not my cup of tea, really. And then you're holding overnight with, I think, at least 25 to 30% risk on something like that, but then the upside is there. So if that's your cup of tea, if you're holding it in the money and you've taken profit, that's much easier to do. Like if you had it at 11 this morning and you've already taken 20 to 25% return on it and you're holding a little bit left, that's a little bit more reasonable than buying at 14 here and then saying I'm going to YOLO it. That's not what I do. But if you guys like that, everyone has to trade their own book ultimately. But hey, if you're in the money, why not hold on to some? Like we said, we have to start getting out of some of these trades. Blackberry's been okay. It's starting to roll over. If it breaks back through, and you look at this previous high at 1137, and there was a nice little volume spike and nice little candle here at 37, if it takes this level out, I think we can get down to 1120. I'm going to hold the last for that. Otherwise, at 350 or so, I'll probably just get out of it. I don't think these are turning into losers. Kodak is definitely not turning into a loser. Alibaba, I thought, could press higher. It is still holding right here at 177. So 180 is resistance on Alibaba, but somebody is just sort of holding up this bid at 177. If that goes at 350, Alibaba could be on the pullback. I'm not looking at it for a day trade here, but if I see some size step up that maybe shows its hand, there could be a break. It's worth it. It's just late in the day for breakout trades.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm trying to calm this down a little bit here for the trading. I'm starting to do the same thing as you. Look for different opportunities and just review some of the positions that I have on and what we're looking at. So just like SoFi right here, this one, we're long at this price, 2025. We bottom picked this. I have an offer out here near 40, so we'll see if that can fill up upside right now. Hopefully it does. I don't know if it will, but that's what we're looking at right now with SoFi. And then we've already talked about our Macy's. Let's check back in on Wish quickly here. What did I say about Wish and what would happen? I said I'd be pissed off if we went back into the 30s, but there it is there. We got out, should have held it. There goes Wish. Just thought that maybe these moves were overextended. I can be wrong, and that looks like that was a wrong move there. But hey, we still put that money in our pocket, and we'll move on from it. I think the logic was sound there. Just get out so we didn't have to worry about anything. But there it goes, Wish. Damn it. That was a mistake. Okay, DraftKings. This is going to be your trade of the day. We talked about DraftKings holding. I don't think Jude Fernando's here, but if she is, we were talking about that here at $50. I mean, bang, right down to the downside. And there's my out right there at 48.43. So we did hold on to about a quarter of that trade. So that's going to be, a big one for me and just sort of solidifies the kind of day today. Although we got out of that early at 10:45. So, still lots of moves to the upside. But we got out basically at the bottom. And why did we get out right there? Because there's 48. Okay, so 48's been holding. So I thought maybe if we cracked below 48, then there may be a problem. But hey, it doesn't do that. It actually holds 48. That would have been a perfect spot to get out. Instead, we give it that spot. It tries to break. It doesn't. We should have identified that. Instead, we get out once it breaks back through 40, that little high there. So that's something that's happening right now for me, and that is DraftKings. And still,
she's still there.
I still think a short. Oh, yeah, she's probably still there. I still do think a short here on DraftKings is eventually going to print. So I sold at 62 right there, and we tweeted that out. So I don't have a problem, guys. Follow me on Twitter. I always post, we just bought TDoc. I bought PayPal. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We've already talked about all of them. I want to get into Win as well, obviously. But right there, 48. I want to rebuy DraftKings down here at 43.42. So that's going to be a DraftKings call, but it needs to get there first.
Yeah, I see a few questions here. Like someone was saying, what happened to Smile Direct? Why is it moving? I mean, without even checking the news. I mean, you should always do that. All these squeeze names made runs to the high of the day, and then they all turn around at about the same time, rolling over. So Smile Direct is going to fit right in. It's still up 7.5%, so a bit stronger than some of the others that I've seen here. The strongest of them all is the last one that I have on, and it's going to be Blackberry. Just going to hold out to see if it can't drop in the next couple of minutes. Tesla's trying to hold 865. Day trading mom, Affirm, swing trade for a short. So a few things here. I do not short things overnight. We day trade here, so most of the things that you'll see me put on, they're all day trades, and I hold Affirm in the long term. I would love. It's a position that I've wanted to add back into. It's just, what do you do when it does this, right? Like it hasn't really given you. There was a couple of pullbacks to 105, but at the time that didn't feel like it was enough, candidly. And at this point, you're probably talking about a 130 on a conservative level. I'd much prefer it back down at 110, and even then that seems ridiculous. Got the double from where it broke out from. It does feel a little bit top heavy. The market's probably due for at least a turnaround day. And you saw with Upstart, when Upstart finally made a high, it didn't matter that the market was strong today. It's again going to be down a little bit, like 5%, I think, so a bit weak. And Affirm is likely to have that type of a day in it. It's done it before, and maybe this is it at 160. It's just not something that I do. If you're playing it, if you play with options, it does give you a little bit of control over how much you lose. But simply, holding equity shorts overnight is a dangerous game because you don't have a stop. And it's not the same thing, right? You can say all you want about a 160 resistance level until it's gapping past it, and then what are you supposed to do with it? So if you can stomach that, yeah, the setup looks okay here. It's $5 with risk to 145 at the nearest resistance. That's 2.5, 3 to 1. That looks okay, but I wouldn't do it personally. But again, caveat: I own shares of Affirm, and of course I always want it to go higher, except when I want to buy the dip.
Yeah, I'm a buyer of Affirm at one. I think you're right. I mean, Jude put 109 in there. I'll put my neck out. I don't care. I think it's a swing trade short for Affirm. So I think you can do that tomorrow for Affirm. I've been saying that before. I said that yesterday, or this morning I said it about shorting Affirm, and that there was a little bit of a danger. Or was it yesterday where we went all the way up from 150 to 157 there? I just think this is overdone, and we'll see it come back down to the downside. So I think Affirm rests his head somewhere around 135, 140, and then these levels is where I think it's a no-brainer buy. I mean, who knows? But 109 or so. We've seen these names go parabolic like this before. So I think Affirm has a chance to come back to the downside. So I wouldn't swing this for a long. Upstart, I haven't looked at that, so I don't want to make a comment on that one. But we only have 1 minute now until the imbalances come out. You know some of my targets and where they're at. So Macy's, we've already talked about that target. I think we're going to be fine. This is $1 in the money on that one. It is coming to the backside now, but we do have 26.60 right there, I think is a chance. What was my best day trade stock today? I mean, Walmart, I think someone asked it, I think Walmart was a good one because we talked about long and why we liked it. We were able to get out real early on that move. We pre-market bought, then we bought this dip there, and then we've been buying again and letting it go all the way to the upside. So I think when things work out, I think that's generally a trigger for me as the best ideas. Then we also had DraftKings, which is going to be the trade of the day, and I think that's a good one. And then how could I even forget about Macy's there? I mean, I don't know, kind of a loaded question, I guess. What's up, Brendan?
Another one to add to the list. Might be a long list tomorrow as far as these squeeze stocks are concerned. Grove Incorporated. You remember way back when GRVI popped up as well. 6.9 free float on this one. It's back here I was talking about, right around when it came to market. But a couple days back it went. Now you're seeing huge volume again here into the close for GRVI.
Yeah, I mean, GRVI making moves. Good question about Cloudflare there. Devin mentioning this name. Yeah, there's another one for you, Cloudflare. Just every single day, you can count how many of those are consecutive up days. I don't know, probably like 10, a dozen, something along those lines. But you're getting a little bit of capitulation. And look, the reality is, you know, you're essentially everyone's looking at the same levels for when these things try to come back. But in the case of Cloudflare, the most recent big break to the high hasn't even been retraced to this 169 level. And if you saw the way Affirm and Upstart went, like until it breaks a support level, I mean, it barely even tried to take out this dip at 172. Till it breaks one of those, you haven't really taken out the trend. This could be a one-day pullback. Like Upstart had, I'd say, 3 or 4 like pullbacks that were like this, and it would just continue to make fresh highs the last couple of months. I know Affirm did this as well, where it would have these great one-day pullbacks, hold the support level, and to continue to make fresh highs. So you don't get ahead of yourself. This has it's so many strong days in a row. This is only one red day. Do I think it's coming back at some point? Everything that makes moves like this eventually has some kind of a turnaround. That's just the reality. Nothing goes up in perpetuity, but just make sure that you're watching the levels. On net, it's probably like a 169 has to break, and then from there, I don't have any obvious levels. Upstart does have some in there that make some sense because it's been a little bit more controlled the last few days.
Okay, so, I mean, nothing's coming out yet. Macy's, Walmart, they're all just kind of cruising, so we'll have to get those out soon. XOM, again, it looks like a nice one here with a buy side on XOM, so we'll wait to see here what's going on. Oil's been nothing but love to the upside right now, so we'll see there, but it doesn't look like it's really affecting. These are 1 minute charts, so we can see what's happening right now. I don't see much on XOM, and there's really
Blackberry's not on there.
There's nothing on here at all. So let's check Toronto. Maybe that is spiking Blackberry. I don't think so. I think this is just a Blackberry specific thing, which my kid is on the second round at Blackberry. That's probably why it spiked. Duh. Okay, so as you can see here, absolutely nothing happening right now on the imbalance locator for Blackberry or for Toronto. So right now, not much going on. Like Rob's walking around here. I know you have something planned, bro, so you might as well just do whatever it is.
Oh,
he's
planning something. The thing about Rob gets way too excited when he's got something, like he has a prank that he wants to play on you. It's like
there's something,
He's a funny guy, don't get me wrong. We all love Rob around here, but just like the look on his face, it's like a kid. It's a kid at Christmas when he's about to play a prank or something.
Yeah, a little too obvious there.
But like, there was nothing at Toronto or in New York on Blackberry, but this is what happened in the last couple of minutes. It was cruising to the bottom. I was pennies away from getting that fill down around 11:30 or so, and then it just spiked back up to 50. So I'm going to take the rest out. Probably looked a gift horse in the mouth on that one. I'm trying not to use that as much. If I come up with another catchphrase, maybe you guys can give me one. But Blackberry going to be all out of this one. I'm flat. 7 minutes. Redonkulous, that's what that is. In case that made no sense to you guys.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, so redonkulous move on Blackberry. There's about a million names that have done it here today that have gone to the upside like this. I mean, all the weed names as well. Starting to come back in, but the market, which, hey man, we've been talking about these I guess, heavily shorted squeeze names, whatever you want to call them, and we're ignoring the fact that the NASDAQ sits right at, a couple weeks ago, this is this 15.4 high, 0.7%. The ES is cruising above 45. I mean, I haven't taken a look at the Dow, but heck, I saw what Caterpillar did today, so I promise you the Dow's up as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can just check out the diamonds.
I could just check. I know
but
it's on my quote boards. I kind of knew.
Yeah. Okay, so cheat there. But yeah, the Dow up 45.45 is a good day so far. We do have it's Netflix. We have a whole bunch. Maybe Brendan's going to talk about earnings. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah, let's. 5 or so minutes to go here, guys. A few big names to come tonight. We're going to get into more later in the week, so if this doesn't excite you, hold on for Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, hold on to your butts. I mean, Tesla's going to be an interesting one. Look, Netflix today, right? Like, it's all about Netflix. I'm going to be watching Biogen just because, like, any stock that is down $200 in the last few months, it's going to give you earnings and is getting into support levels, has a decent shot to set up for a trade. So I look at this 240 level, just looking at the daily chart here on Biogen, that's 10% down from here. You might get an opportunity, if they don't report well, you might get an opportunity to play off that level tomorrow. It's probably a spec play, but ultimately there might be better names that I know I like in the healthcare space, but Biogen might be the best mover tomorrow coming off of their earnings. It's just a completely insane run that they've had, and the momentum has been all to the downside. There's been really no bounce in this stock, so maybe post earnings it can settle down and find one.
So I got to watch out what I say here because, like, I think Netflix is overdone, but again, I don't want to stand in front of a very, very, possible moving train here to the upside. If there is a problem in their earnings, then you're going to get cracked because the Squid Game has been just a huge success for them. We've heard they paid $20 million, they make $900 million or something on it, but it's really going to be the subscriber numbers that takes Netflix where it needs to go. It's not going to be its bottom line or anything like that. It's going to be the subs. So I don't know. I wonder if that has gotten enough people interested to get more subscribers. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm nervous for Netflix tomorrow. And we've talked about this name as being a strong one. Obviously, I believe in it, but you get below this like 620, 625 or so, and it's going to be a problem for Netflix. We're well above the 50-period moving average here. So I'm a little bit nervous about it as we're at all-time highs. And I mean, I say the same thing all the time. Trimmed Apple at all-time highs, trimmed AMD at all-time highs, although AMD is getting right back to where it was. It's just one of those things where, like, we got out of AMD from our long 75 at 119, right? We're getting out all the way up, and I just wonder if that's what a lot of people are doing here on Netflix. So just watch out for this level, man, 640. We'll wait for the sub numbers. They'll come right after. They might even come while we're still on the show, so we'll have to watch out for that. But I'm a little bit nervous about the numbers for Netflix, so just take that for fair warning. We're out of everything, man. I mean, Walmart, that was, again, a really great trade for me on Walmart, more than $1 right there on that last take. Every single trade there's a profitable one. And then Macy's, we covered just because we're running out of time, not because it hit any levels. Our out was going to be this 26.60. So there it is right there, man. If you just shorted from the beginning of the day, literally 9:30, that's a 9:30 trade, and hold it all the way to the end of the day, that's $1.10 on Macy's. So today's been one of these days. Shout out to all the people watching and just our trading community. It's been such a banger day one more time that, I'm just excited every morning to come into work because I love this market and I love the trade.
And wow, thank you very much for this wick showing up because I wanted to talk Coinbase. Look, we started the day talking about the Bitcoin ETF and, of course, the strong move. We got that 64,000 break. Coinbase made a run to the high, gave you good longs, gave you good short trades. I just wanted to point out a couple of things, though, because Silvergate reported and got smacked downside. And I put on a trade a few months ago, I should say, on Coinbase, where I sold Silvergate to buy some more Coinbase, and was like, okay, well, Coinbase did absolutely nothing a while back, and now you're getting a bit of a pullback. It feels like the reverse could be a bit of a play here. We're not there yet, but Silvergate looks like it's coming all the way back into 120. If it gets down to that level, I think it can be a bit of a buy. Tesla does not hold 865, so it just broke down. Not quite low of the day, sitting at 863. They got the earnings, of course, tomorrow, guys. There's 2 minutes to go. It looks like we're getting a pair on the bell here today, but make sure you stick around because after Randy and Valeria, who just hid for no reason, you guys were on camera, everybody just saw the two of you hide anyways, but stick around because there will be the trade of the day. Now, of course, I've lost my train of thought because I don't remember. It wasn't Macy's. It could have been Macy's. Which one was it?
It's DraftKings.
It's DraftKings. It could be. Look, it could have been Macy's. It could have been DraftKings. It is DraftKings. Of course, stick around for that one. It's been a fun day today. Market closing at least close enough to their highs, and more importantly, Bitcoin closing at not closing, but getting that 64,000 and holding that high. The ETF, by the way, had fantastic liquidity. At least at our first look at it, so it looks like a pretty tradable vehicle from what I can tell.
We'll watch that a little bit tomorrow with only a minute left. Should be an exciting one. We can check out some of these imbalances quickly for you as you go. Still XOM on a buy, so still not really doing anything there. There's absolutely nothing else on here, so there's really not too else to look at. We will be talking about DraftKings here into the close as we're just watching XOM. This is a short here. I'm going to be putting on, probably buy some puts on XOM and see where we go. Oil, just way overdone, in my opinion again, my humble opinion. We'll wait to see where we go. Here go XOM starting to pair off right now. With only 30 seconds left, it should be a good bell ringer today with Valeria and Randy both on the bell, so that should be a good one. With only 30 seconds to go, not much happening. Let's check out on Apple. What was the final damage on them? Up 1.5 or so? Yeah, exactly. So 1.5% there on Apple. What a great runner. Yesterday we were all over that long at 142. So congratulations to anybody that has that as Apple printing today. So that's a good trade, man. And like really happy that the market's rebounding. Microsoft also with only 10 seconds left.
Yeah, drop the countdown. We know who's on the bell. You see them both. The blue looks like it's good luck. Randy, it's shorts weather, 2 and 1.
The funny thing is, the thing that was making the noise was not the bell there. I don't know if you guys noticed that at all, but thank you so much, guys, for that. That was very, very fun. Randy does not have an F-150 unless he does. I don't think he does. No, he does not. But
although he does seem like like he could.
Yeah. He's allergic to Ford, but not the stock, hopefully. All right, Brendan, how did we wind up?
Yeah, nice day, guys. Right across the board. Positive numbers to show you once again. 0.74 for the S&P. The Dow right behind it. 0.4, 0.71 for the NASDAQ. So Brazil standing at 3.25 to the downside. Net.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just talking about Netflix at 640. I just went to 620 there. But doesn't matter. I have no idea where this is going to go, right? When the early numbers come out, we'll wait to see what's going to happen right there. Goes all the way down to 620, 640. So this could go, no idea. But Netflix right now, back and forth, touches 623, now up to 645. So starting to go again. There it goes. No idea. What are the subscriber numbers? That's what we're looking for. But it looks like it might be a beat on the subscriber number. That's all the numbers that matter to me. So I don't know. There goes Netflix to the upside. Wow. 660, Brendan.
Paid streaming, big beat. I don't know.
Anyways,
I'm not seeing the sub numbers.
It's going to be, I don't see it either. But
EPS, big beat. Yeah.
Good move so far. So 660, good. Yeah, people clapping. People like some Netflix right now. I can't believe I don't even own any of this stock. But they already throw to Brendan for what kind of a day it was. I think we did already. Okay. So let's just wrap this thing up. I want to thank Rob and Randy today. Lucas is I think the only guy working over there. So thank you so much, guys. And Randy got our Wi-Fi working by phoning somebody else. So
I thought you fixed it yourself.
No, it's all about resources, right? Randy getting the job done. Exactly. That's how I made my living, baby. Thank you to Valeria and to Pratt as well for a big show, always in the afternoon. Great show right after our show, 8:30 to 11, and then you get those two for 2 hours. Then unfortunately, you get us for the last hour. But it should be a good day today. Any plans, Brendan?
Sorry, guys, just reading through this report. So the only thing that's really notable right now, they anticipate being free cash flow positive by the end of 2022. 142 million member households globally have chosen to watch Squid Games. Yeah, we knew that. I'll keep reading through this. Looks pretty positive, though, for Netflix.
Okay, good. Again, it's all about the sub numbers for me. So
which we don't have out yet, which we'll eventually hear. So.
I'm surprised it's up this much without that data, but we'll wait to see. And like I said, Squid Game is, no surprise there on those numbers. I wonder if it goes down from here. So 658, we'll wait to see what those numbers are like. But guys, hold tight. It's the trade of the day. It's coming up right now. And we'll catch everyone tomorrow. Hump Day. It's Wednesday tomorrow.
See you guys.